My name is Robert Gao. I represent SmrtGuard Mobile Security. So today I think the way I want to take this is to sort of go through a little bit about what SmrtGuard is, but really about how I started the company, and a little bit about who I am and how I put together the team that put together the product. So here we go. So my name is Robert Gao. As I said, I graduated from Columbia in 2003. And like many people that graduate from Columbia with a tech degree, you get into the finance firms. So I worked at Lehman Brothers, which is no longer here, but RIP. I worked at Citigroup, Merrill Lynch, Bank of America, Credit Suisse, you name it, I worked at it. I worked on BlackBerry, the first BlackBerry application for investment banking at Lehman Brothers. I've created mobile platforms for Merrill Lynch. I have done trading applications for Citigroup, TiEFX, so high volume systems. But pretty much every time I switch a job, and these are full-time, until the very last one, most of them are full-time jobs. I was always bored, and what does that mean? It's not that I like to switch job. It's just I feel like I was never learning anything, and I feel that after 3-4 months of going to a new job, which is very exciting, I wanted to explore more, right? I want to learn new things, right? And management say, hey, there's the career mobility, as they call it. However, there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through, and I said, you know what, I had enough of this. But as everybody know, we as humans tend to like to stay at where we're comfortable with, right? So it's really until my last consulting gig at Merrill Lynch that the financial crisis started in 2008. And I said, you know what, it's a risk and reward. Timing was right for me. I had this idea. I wrote the BlackBerry for Dummies. Readers were emailing me and say, hey, how can I back up my BlackBerry the way the enterprise BlackBerry server does, right? I'm a consumer, I'm a small business owner, I want my data to be backed up. How can I do that as a consumer? Not just one, a few bunch of readers that emailed us. And that kind of got me thinking. From the get-go, I knew mobile security is something that is going to be big. What does that mean? If you look at your PC right now, when you get a new laptop, you get a new get a new Mac, let's say, or get a new PC from Dell, what's the first thing you do right now? If you're like me, I make sure that there's firewall. I make sure that there's antivirus, anti-spyware. But if you think about that, right, about maybe 10, 15 years ago, what's the first thing you did when you got your new 486, right, or 286? It's to download. It's to buy a game, right? Maybe buy an app. Maybe to make yourself more productive, right? Does that sound a little familiar, right? When you get your first smartphone, what is the first thing you do? Download the Angry Birds. Download the the spreadsheet app or whatever it is that make your life easier, make your life more productive. Where am I going? What's my point? Is that mobile is taking a very similar path, at your house. You only realize when you got here. Maybe you're expecting a call. So you know what? You said, I'm going to remote call forward my phone to, let's say, my secretary, or let's say to somebody else that said, hey, I'm at TiEcon, and if you need to get in touch with him, he's there, and So remote call forwarding is something that people really like to do. But as you can see, right, we've got a slew of features other than sort of the privacy and anti-spyware, and that's actually a really a hot growing space in the Android, just because Android is a very open space. So without boring you about other features, come to our booth at 233, and we could give you a live demo. And you can find out more about that. But about the team, about the company. So I'm a mobile developer, BlackBerry developer to start with, and BlackBerry development is a very tough thing to do. But obviously we know sort of other BlackBerry developers that are around the world, in the UK, in Asia, in Latin America. So I basically put a team together, and in a short month of, I think, 4 to 5 months, we put together the product, and we launched it. Got exposure on some of the major blog. We were able to generate revenue the first month after selling. We were fortunate enough to be discovered. It's an inbound deal where the second largest cell phone company in Indonesia is actually wanted to white label our solution, sell it to their customer, and virtual preload on all the BlackBerries that they sell. So, and very recently, earlier this year, we just reached our first millionth download. We don't pay for any downloads, and basically it's a word of mouth for us. So, again, this is kind of sort of the PC versus the smartphone path, and this is, just want to talk about the dashboard. A lot of people come to and say, hey, I've got MobileMe, why do I need you, right? Or I've got BlackBerry Protect, what do I need you, right? So for us, it's about cross-platform. It's about having the devices, able to manage your family, your friends, all together. You're able to self-manage your application, self-manage your data, and able to locate your phone whenever needed.